Hi there, I'm Kathy Henry, and you're listening to another episode of the Living in Santa Barbara podcast. Well, the polo season is just beginning, so I wanted to spotlight one of our local treasures, the Santa Barbara Polo and Racquet Club. Attending the games is a truly magnificent experience. Watching the agility and the power of the beautiful horses sprinting past you with the stunning Pacific Ocean and the Santa Ynez Mountains in the background. It's just an aspect of living in Santa Barbara that makes me feel so blessed. However, not many people know about its history and significance in the polo world. So today, I'm excited to welcome two amazing ladies from the Polo Club to tell us a little bit more about the sport and the club, which has been a haven for polo lovers for over a century. I learned a few things about the game and our club. You may have heard it being called the Sport of Kings, but it was originally started in Central Asia over 2,500 years ago as a training game for elite troops, and it spread from Persia and India to the British Empire, where it became a symbol of nobility, and the rules were fine-tuned, turning it into a popular sport around the world. But what I didn't know was that it's the third oldest club in the U.S., and before the Santa Barbara Polo Club joined the United States Polo Association in 1911, there were more than 25 polo fields in the area, including a field at San Leandro Ranch in Montecito, a field at Chino and Anapamu on the west side, and also on the mesa near Ledbetter Beach. Another interesting fact is that legends like Will Rogers and Walt Disney played here, along with royalty like Prince William and Prince Harry, who played at the club for charity. The other aspect of the game is that the horses are the true athletes. They're credited for 2/3 to 3/4 of what makes a polo player great. The team's success hinges on having the best horses, which is a huge undertaking, and it requires a patron with deep pockets and a network of scouts and trainers to put the team together with the horses. And usually that patron is also playing on the team with them as their amateur. Our club hosts a few of the world's top tournaments, the Pacific Coast Open, a trophy that's over 100 years old, and the Silver Cup, U.S. Polo's oldest trophy. But not only is the club a world-class venue for both amateurs and professionals, it's also a community builder where traditions are passed down from generation to generation, where they host events, and where you can learn how to play polo or ride a horse. So grab your mallet and let's head over to the Santa Barbara Polo and Racquet Club. Hi, everyone. We're here at the Santa Barbara Polo and Racquet Club. I'm here with Monica Finley. She's the operations manager, and Mia Bray. She's assistant polo manager and a polo player. So
thank you for visiting us.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Excited.
So I don't know much about polo. I've gone to a couple of games. Tell us about polo. So, Monica, your position is operations manager.
Correct.
How did you come on board?
Sure. So I actually have a big background in retail and hospitality. I worked at Nordstrom for many years, and then I actually worked in hospitality at Ritz-Carlton. So I was pulled over here, and I'm the buyer of the boutique. So everything that you see in the shop here I've purchased, and then we resell. We do a killing during polo. People love the boutique. And then I also handle all of the membership up at the tennis clubhouse. I just work for the members, and I love polo, and I've learned everything there is to know about polo in the last 3 years. It's a Santa Barbara landmark. It's really fun to come and watch a polo match here. And then also the polo fields that are on property, they're equivalent to 10 football fields. So I don't know I didn't know if you realize how large we actually really are. I mean, we have 3 polo fields on property.
It's a great summer activity.
Definitely. And then, you can wear your fun fascinator, get your dress on, your heels. You'll just have a lot of fun. But Mia will tell you more about the actual game because she's a polo player. So she knows everything about the sport.
From the beginning.
Yes. So I grew up in the sport of polo. My father is a professional polo player. He moved here from New Zealand just before I was born, and my brother was brought up in polo. He is a professional polo player here at Santa Barbara Polo Club.
Okay.
So he plays on the Clinton Air Ranch polo team, and I was brought in actually on a short internship 7 years ago.
May I ask your age?
I'm 28.
Okay.
A short internship about 7 years ago while I was studying for law school, actually, and I never left. So this is going to be my 7th season here in Santa Barbara.
So no more becoming an attorney?
Nope. Why would you leave this place?
I know. Wait, so where were you living before?
I went to Oklahoma State University, but I am originally from Indio, California. There's another polo club in that area. that plays a winter season.
Oh, yeah.
Or Coachella.
Over by, yes, by Coachella.
Yeah, that's the Coachella Fest venue.
How many polo clubs are there in the United States?
There are polo clubs all over the U.S., hundreds polo clubs in each state across the country. Because of our beautiful weather in California, we have quite a few clubs in California that can play during the winter and the summer. So we're a very popular polo location.
Yeah.
But Santa Barbara, we're very lucky because this is one of the longest polo seasons in the country. Not many locations can play on green grass from April through October.
So regarding polo, let's go back, because where did it originate from? How did polo start?
I mean, it's a very, very ancient sport. There's tales of people playing polo with the heads of their enemies. So it's
with the heads of their enemies?
From polo from the ages.
Oh my God. So, but when we think of polo, we always think of the, England and the royals and stuff. So it went from India to England and then to the United States?
Yeah, I believe so. But I definitely have learned that it is a sport for kings and queens. That's how it originated.
Yes.
It's a very expensive sport because of the horses. The horses are the true athletes here.
I mean, a beginner horse can go from anywhere between $5,000 to, I mean, maybe even upwards of $500,000. Yeah. So they're all over the map.
I was going to guess that they were like $1 million, but 100,000, that seems like pretty affordable.
I mean, the best polo horses are invaluable. Like money can't buy them.
Yes. Or like the horse behind us is Cambiaso's horse. I think is Chocolate. And I think that he cloned him a couple times because he wanted another horse just like him. And he's a 10-goaler. Yeah. And we had the amazing privilege of meeting him last year.
This horse right here?
Well, Cambiaso. Adolfo Cambiaso is a 10-goaler.
What does a 10-goaler mean?
Polo is played on handicap. And unlike golf, it goes in from lowest to highest. So you start at a -1 handicap, and as you gain riding ability and playing ability, you grow through your handicaps, and the best polo players are 10 goals. And there's very, very few 10 goalers in the world.
Where are they located? Are they in
most of the 10 goalers are from Argentina?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And they just finished the Florida season now, and so they will either be off to England to play the English summer season, or they're stopping over in Argentina to play the short season in Argentina before the next high goal tournaments start in England for the summertime.
So do they come here too, to Santa Barbara?
In 2022, we had Peroto Cambiaso, Adolfo Cambiaso's son. He was actually a champion of the Pacific Coast Open that year, and he is a 10-goal polo player.
So could you explain the game of polo for us? Because even when you talk about the handicaps, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know.
So just pretend like we don't know anything about anything. So polo, it's kind of like soccer. It's kind of like lacrosse. Can you explain what polo is to people that don't know?
I've heard polo be described as hockey on horses and also golf during an earthquake. So it is a beautiful sport played on horseback, 4 versus 4 with 2 mounted umpires across a polo field that is 300 yards long by 150 yards wide. And so polo is a 6-chucker match. So that means 6 periods of 7.5 minutes. And so that match may take an hour to 2 hours long of very intense, fast playing.
Yeah.
And like I explained the handicap system before, every player on the field holds a handicap, and the amount of their handicaps on the field add up to the level of polo. So right now we're playing 12-goal polo here in Santa Barbara. And so each player on the team, those 4 players, the aggregate of their handicap will equal 12 goals, and that's how you keep the game even at any given time.
Okay, so like let's say you have a 10-goal player and he makes a goal, and you have a -1 goal player that makes a goal. That wouldn't count as the same amount of points.
It does count as the same amount of points.
Okay.
A handicap is not based on the amount of points that they're expected to score in any given game. It's just a grading system for us. And so if your -1 scores a goal and your team is working very well together and that -1 is having a good day and they score a goal or 2, that counts the same on the field as that goal from the 10-goal player. And so polo is an incredible sport because it works the same way for female polo players. This is one of the sports where men and women can play together all on the same scale. because the horse is really the equalizer out there.
Hmm. So you're trying to match up the teams according to the handicap.
Yeah,
Got it.
For this level of polo is 12 goals. So you matched up the team and the players' handicaps to equal 12 goals so that all the teams on the field are even for that given tournament.
Yeah.
And so polo tournaments across the United States are played between 0 goals, and in Florida, the U.S. Open is played at 22 goals. In Santa Barbara, we're lucky. We play a very high level of polo for the United States. And so we play a spring season at 12 goals and then the summer season at 16 goals. So we do see some of the best polo players in the world here in Santa Barbara for the summer.
Okay, got it. So how many different tournaments?
So during our 12-goal spring season, we'll see 4 different tournaments. Each team will play 2 games a week. And all of those, so a 2-week tournament would be 3 bracket games with a final at the end.
Got it. And then what is the top tournament here at
the top tournament in Santa Barbara would be our USPA Pacific Coast Open. Another very important tournament that we have is the National Silver Cup. And so both those tournaments are played in August. And those are some of the most important tournaments of the country with the most beautiful silver trophies.
Yeah.
Very coveted to win.
And where are those tournaments in terms of the other tournaments in the United States? Like, where does it rank? The Pacific?
Well, we're going to play some of the highest level polo in the country during the summer season. So we have some very high ranking tournaments. Okay. I think the Silver Cup is one of the most important in the country.
So I know there's a polo club in San Diego and Indio, but those polo clubs don't have as high level players or tournaments as Santa Barbara does?
Yes, we play the highest level of polo on the West Coast.
Oh, got it. Okay. And what are the other more notable polo clubs in the United States?
So during the winter season, the 2 locations, the 2 clubs in the country that get to play polo during the winter. I mean, it's hard to find a place with the sun is shining and there's beautiful green grass to play polo in the depths of winter. So during the winter season, Wellington, the National Polo Center,
is that in Florida?
That is in Florida, in South Florida. They play a big season in South Florida and then also in Indio, California.
Oh, got it. I did see that they also play polo in Aspen. Is that correct?
Yes, they play a snow polo tournament in Aspen. They must do that early December. That's an event that they do every year. It's a fun event. It's a different experience because polo is not usually played in the snow. So do
they have to have different horses? I mean,
same horses, but they play in an arena and in a much smaller field and with a different type of ball.
Got it.
So the small white plastic ball that we use on the grass would be very hard to find. In the snow.
That's so funny. And also one on the beach.
They play beach polo all over the U.S. I've done it myself in Portland, Oregon. Actually, they have a beautiful beach there, but they have really nice events in Miami on the beach.
Well, so let's talk about the history of the Santa Barbara Polo Club. So it started in 1911.
I think one of the hats is up here. Yeah, 1911.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that start?
Well, I believe it was 3 families, the Walkers, the Ringers, and the Holden families that started it all. And I think they started playing here, back in World War II. I was looking through the history of the book. We have this amazing Polo in Paradise book that kind of gives you the full history.
Oh, great.
That you can purchase here at the boutique. But it gives you the full history of how it all started and how long it's been here. And these 3 families have started and their children, have played polo as well. And it just has a long history. And the Polo Clubhouse, if we walk through it, I'll show you all the beautiful trophies that still sit in there, including the PCO, which is the Pacific Coast Open trophy. That trophy was also put together from, I think it was 1908.
Wow.
And
it's the same one from 1908?
Yeah, but you can see where the layers have been put on and the big coveted thing here is to be on that trophy. It's solid silver, solid gold. It has semi-precious stones. It's a beautiful, beautiful trophy. And it sits in our Polo Clubhouse, so I can show it to you afterwards. But if anything, I think that's a big draw to come here and watch a game because you get to see that beautiful trophy.
Yeah.
And they're all fighting to be on that trophy, which is really exciting too.
Are you trying to get on that trophy too?
Maybe one day. Amongst the best in the world.
Yes.
So I thought about putting my son in polo for a minute, but I don't know what's involved with that. How do you become a polo player?
So we have a polo school at the Santa Barbara Polo and Racquet Club, and so anybody can come and try polo.
At what age? I mean, at 55?
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
yeah.
A lot
Really?
of
Children
the
start at, like,
lessons,
5.
a lot of
Yeah.
the lessons are older individuals starting to ride horses for the very first time at 55, and then others are as young as 5 that are already hitting the ball and riding a horse.
Is that
It's
mallet
incredible.
heavy?
It is not heavy at
Because I have
first.
shoulder problems.
It's not heavy at first sight, but once you have it in your arm for an hour and a half, you will definitely get tired.
Yeah, can you like switch arms, be like a, what do they call those? Like,
Ambidextrous.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You cannot actually. Everybody has to play polo with the mallet in their right hand. So
Even if you're left-handed?
even if you're left-handed, you have to learn to play polo with your right. And
Oh.
it's possible. There are some of the best polo players in the world were actually born left-handed, but they write with their left and have incredible ball control.
Wow.
Using the right arm.
It's amazing to watch the control you guys have over those horses.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I noticed the horses are a lot smaller. They seem like they're small horses. Is that correct?
Yes. A polo horse can be anywhere between 14 hands and 16 hands. The smaller it is, the more control you have of the ball. And sometimes the more agile, the more handy you'll have. Handy the horse will be, but sometimes when you have a larger horse, you have more power, you have more speed, and so you want to find a beautiful combination of both, where you have all of the handle and all of the speed of the perfect polo horse.
And how many horses do you normally have, like per player in a game?
So, in the highest levels of polo that you'll see here, sometimes players will bring between 6 and 12 horses to the field at any given time. So, one player can be playing up to 12 horses in a game.
Wow.
So that horse will only play a few minutes before it's switched off. So you never get caught on the field with a tired or slow horse. You always want to have the best underneath you that you can get.
So is that why you're switching, is so they don't get tired out?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Because if you're always trying to first man to the ball. So you can't, if you can't get to the ball, you can't win that play. So you have to make sure you can outhorse the other guy to win that matchup.
Yeah. So do you have a strong connection with these horses? I mean, because it seems like the polo players and the horses are in such sync. It's amazing to see. They can just stop them on a dime. Mm-hmm. So what is that like?
Absolutely. The horses they're incredible athletes that know the sport very well. Some of the horses that I play are much better at polo than I am. They know the sport better than I do.
Do you think they enjoy it?
I do. If they didn't enjoy it, they wouldn't play for us. They're far too strong and smart for that. So, and they're bred to run. They're bred to stop. They're bred to turn. That's what they're made for. Mm-hmm. And they're treated they're treated like athletes. They're absolute gems in the barn. So they're super well taken care of. And if they are your friend, your athlete, and your partner in the game. So they are also your teammates, and they're treated like such.
I mean, do they feel like family? You go and like pet them and
for sure
hang out with them and stuff like that?
I definitely do.
Yeah. Well, we do too. Like sometimes we'll take a little 10-minute break while we're working up there, and we're like, let's go pet the horses.
Oh, wow, I want to pet them.
I know, they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so you didn't start off as a polo player. So were you playing polo when you were young?
My dad was a professional polo player, but my dad and brother were playing polo, and I always thought polo was for boys. So I actually had a jumping pony when I was a kid, and I did show jumping through college. But when I was in my 20s, I got back on a polo horse for the first time in a long time, and I said, "Wow, this is way better! Like, I want to play polo instead." So I swapped out my jumping horse for a polo horse, and off I went. Now I never look back. Yeah. And since then, polo has become much more popular for women. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, I didn't see very many women playing polo, so that's how I grew that polo was a sport for boys. And,
I know, I like it.
And now it is definitely not.
Yeah, I know, you're kind of a badass.
Yeah, we even had an amazing girl player last year. Hope she's
the best in the world.
Yeah.
The best female polo player in the world joined us last year for the 12-goal series, and it was great having her and getting to watch her skill in the field and beat up on the boys.
Where was she trained? Did she come from a different place?
She came from she's from Aiken, South Carolina, and Wellington, Florida.
Okay,
so she traveled here.
And she's really young too. How old is she?
She's 20.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wait, so these polo players, do they make a living doing this?
Yes. Yep. So the polo players that we have here are all professional polo players. Polo is unique in that the owner of a polo team, unlike the owner of the Patriots football team gets to play on that team with their professionals. So the teams that you'll see here are mostly one amateur amongst 3 professionals. So the team owner is actually out there with him.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so the amateur is usually the owner?
Yes, the amateur on the field would be the team owner, and then they're out there playing with their high-level professionals. And so they get the best way to be involved with their team and in their sport is on the field.
Well, how many teams do you guys have here at the club?
We have 4 teams competing in our 12 goal amongst other different levels that we also offer.
And they travel too? They travel to other tournaments?
Yes.
Got it. And that includes the girls team and the... Or is it a co-ed team?
Yeah.
It's a co-ed team.
Yeah.
There's no all-girls team.
There are all-girls teams, but in separate women's tournaments. Okay. So any women you see on the field here during our 12 goal are playing amongst the men.
Okay. Do you play on all-girls teams, or do you want to do like co-ed?
Yeah. It's a very different type of polo, so it's great to do both. Mm-hmm. You get the speed of the co-ed polo, and then also you get the opportunity to captain teams and have control in the women's polo. So it's a different type of polo.
How many teams are you on? Is each player on multiple teams or just one team, or how does that work?
Typically, they're just on one team.
Yeah, just on one team per tournament, but you often switch teams. Right. Once the spring season finishes, these players will sometimes change teams to a new team, and the players that were their teammates the previous month will be their opponents the next month.
Oh, and why do they do that? Just to...
Well, when the handicap level of the tournament changes from 12 to 16, the teams switch to meet that different handicap.
See, I'm learning so much today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how often do you play?
I play as much as I possibly can. I have 6 checkers this afternoon, so I'm excited to go play that. There's a women's tournament. We play our women's tournament in September. Okay. So I'll be looking forward to the tournament in September and just training and keeping my horses fit until then, unless another opportunity arises before that.
Yeah. It seems like polo's gotten more popular. I mean, I remember I can't remember what year that was. It might have been in 2014 or something, maybe earlier, 2012, when Prince William and Kate came. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time.
That was 2011.
Oh, okay, yeah. 2000. And was on the other side over there?
No, it actually was here, but I think it was just like very private and secluded, but it was on this field.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just remember it was a really fun event. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I had gone to a polo game.
Right.
Did that make an impact on the attendance?
I think so. I do think that with Santa Barbara, a lot of people don't know that we're here. We're trying really hard to put the word out. And, I grew up here in Santa Barbara, and I think honestly, I don't think I ever came to a polo match until I got a little bit older, and people are like, it's so much fun. There's drinks and, it's the who's who of Santa Barbara. Come watch a game. And then I was like, this is so much fun. I can't believe growing up here, I didn't know about this. So I do think that we're trying to get the word out. And I think that's why it's gotten so much more popular. Like a lot of LA people come.
There's a lot of LA. I've met a lot of LA people.
Yeah. And then, of course, with Prince Harry coming, that was 2 years ago, that made it just as popular. Yeah. We hope he comes back. It's fun to watch him. He's a great player too. Mm-hmm. And so I think that the word is out, and I think people love to come, and, we're going to be busy. It's going to be fun. I suggest everyone come and watch a game. And if you want to read up on it, definitely do. But we're always here, and we can always help you and tell you a little bit more about the game and how to watch. But my husband, my children come. We all have so much fun.
I know. It's like a little picnic.
Totally.
And so there's different ways to watch in the grandstands, or you can watch in the cabanas. Correct. Or through membership.
Correct.
So you have different areas where you sit. Could you explain that?
So the social membership is just for polo. So that's if you are an avid polo watcher, you want to be here at every game. Mm-hmm. The membership is 2 tiers. So like if you're a family, it's $1,050. And if you are just single, it's $950. With that, you automatically get polo tickets. So say you're a family of 4, you automatically get the 4 tickets plus 2 extra. So you can bring 2 friends. And
now, is that transferable, the tickets?
Yes.
Okay.
So then you come and you watch a game. You can come every Sunday. We have a free happy hour match every Friday at 4:00. That one's completely open to the public. There's no seating arrangement. You can sit wherever you want. Just come watch a game, get used to it. And then on Sundays when you would actually come with the tickets. That one you do actually have to purchase tickets. Our tickets can be purchased on the website. And they're only $30 for tickets. So if you don't want to become a social member, you could definitely just purchase the tickets for $30. But we suggest you become a social member because then you get 20% discounts here in the boutique. You'll get
food.
Not the food and beverage, but you will get 20% discount in the boutique, and then you'll get invited to all of our social parties. So there's 3 parties during the season that are really fun. And then you also get invited to our Christmas party.
Got it. So are those the people that come, are they big, huge fans of polo, or do they tend to be like people like me who just come to find something to do on a Sunday afternoon?
I think that first you might start coming off like, come here and it's just a fun social, like let's go mingle and see what this is all about. And then I think you do end up watching the game and you get so into it and you're like watching these big, beautiful horses and, everyone just out there in the rumble of the horses going down these fields. And these horses are going 40 miles per hour typically. So
and it's scenic too, with the background of the mountains, and it's just gorgeous.
So then you just become into the sport and then you want to come all the time.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what happened with my husband. He's like, it's so much fun to watch. So I think then you get into it and then you're like, I want to watch the game. And
is he following the teams too?
Yeah, he's really into it too. So he comes and watches the teams. And I told him I've met my idol, which is up there, Adolfo. So sometimes you get to meet some amazing polo players. I mean, he's a 10-goaler. So it's like seeing Tom Brady on the grass.
Oh, yeah. Do you announce when these players are going to be here?
Typically, we'll announce the week of who's actually playing, and then their handicap will be on there, and you can see who's coming. So it'll be exciting to see. We don't know yet.
Okay.
So it's one of those exciting things that you'll see week by week.
Yeah. So the membership, you also get to, I think the members get to sit in a different area. They get to sit here.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different than if you buy a ticket. So if you have the membership, you have a few more privileges.
Correct. And I think the big draw is definitely the parties and then, the discounts. So I think a lot of social members like to be invited to all the big parties that you won't get invited to if you just do purchase the tickets for the grandstands.
And how do you get the cabanas? Like
the cabanas are actually really, really fun, especially if you have say a birthday party.
Yeah.
Or even like a baby shower. We've had baby showers. We've had bachelorette parties. So the cabanas are over here and they sit 8 to 12 people. They typically go from, 600 to 1,000 during our peak, which will be in August. They go up to 1,000, but they're fun because you can, split it with all your friends. You can join in your cabana. It's kind of like a little private area.
Yeah.
And you can have cake or birthday cake or celebrate. You can have
you
a bottle
can bring
of champagne.
Your own food, or
you can't bring your own food, but it's all catered and you can pre-order everything before.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
I like doing that.
Yeah.
I did notice that people started dressing up a little bit more lately than they used to.
Yeah.
They used to come very casually. So,
I know. So I think the women are really getting into it this year. And that's why we have so many fascinators here in the boutique too.
What are they?
So the fascinators look like this.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many fun ones. Kentucky Derby style. Yeah. So it's just kind of exciting to even people watch and see.
You need a hat shop.
I know. Definitely.
Yeah.
And during the season, we'll have little pop-ups of hats and like other people that sell local items in Santa Barbara too.
Okay.
So I actually sell the outside area too to pop-ups, which is really fun to see our local, artists or people that do hats, anything like that can do the little pop-up too. Yeah.
Could you explain what is the little stomping of the little things? What is that?
The halftime divot stomp. We have a champagne halftime divot stomp on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we will serve you a complimentary glass of champagne. And then the spectators have the opportunity to cruise the field. And then we stomp the divots that the horses have made with their hooves throughout the game. And so then you can flatten out the playing field. It's a time to sip some champagne, socialize horses in the next half.
Yeah, I mean, they need to have that just so that to prevent injury. Is that correct?
Correct. And then that way the ball doesn't bounce and it's easier to hit.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
It's just a more, the ball glides smoothly across the grass.
So, I mean, how long does it take for the grass to recover? By the next week, it'll be fine?
Yeah, we have a big grounds crew that's constantly working on the grass, and with a little sunshine and water, the grass keeps growing, and it does recover throughout the season.
Yeah. So you said that the field is 350 yards by 100?
It is A standard field is 300 yards long by 150 yards wide.
And how is that compared to a football field?
It fits 9 football fields in one polo field. So if you see this, when you come visit Santa Barbara to watch a polo game, you'll be very surprised in the sheer size of field and the speeds that the horses can reach out there in that distance.
How fast do they go?
I believe a Kentucky Derby winner would run 35 miles an hour. So we wouldn't reach the top speed of a Derby horse, but we could get in the high 20s to 30.
Is it so? Do you do it because of the adrenaline rush to be on that horse going so fast and to be able to control it? Like, what is the draw for you besides?
For sure, the relationship you have with your horses and the adrenaline and that you get playing the polo, and also you just trying to get better all the time. Like, you're never going to be good enough on that
like
polo
golf.
field. Yes, exactly. You have to constantly be training to get better. And getting to have those horses and spend the time with the horses is definitely a big draw as well.
Do you guys have a summer camp or anything for the kids?
For polo, we don't. You can always take lessons, but we don't have
polo.
like a summer.
Do you do group lessons? Like how many people are learning polo here?
We actually have a lot of members, or not members. Well, you become a member once you start taking lessons. I put you in the system as a Polo Academy member. But we do actually have a lot of people that do take lessons with our Polo Academy school. And, it's a fun little 5-pack that you can purchase, and you can start off. You don't even have to know anything about, we provide the horse. We have school horses. And then Jeff Shiraga, who is the trainer, will teach you how to play polo.
So is that something like maybe somebody from LA coming up for the weekend that they can do?
Absolutely. A lot of our members do drive up from LA for their lessons. They come in on the weekends to begin in the coaching league, and then they go back to LA for work during the week. This is their little getaway.
How long is the lesson?
And I think a polo lesson runs about an hour.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Well, I kind of want to do it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. It sounds like so much fun. Yes. A lot of people don't know about polo.
Correct.
And now it's just another amazing thing we could do here in Santa Barbara.
Definitely.
So, thank you guys.
Of course.
Thank you again for coming.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Can't wait to see you on top of the horse.
I'm thinking about it. It might be kind of fun. It might be a fun activity with the girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Birthday party.
Little girls love horses.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Of course.
Thanks again for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. To find out more about the Santa Barbara Polo Club, go to sbpolo.com. The polo matches are going until October. They're on Sundays, and they have a happy hour on Fridays. You can find the full schedule on their website. Thanks again. And if you enjoyed this episode, please help us by rating it with 5 stars. You can follow me or reach me on Instagram at Living in Santa Barbara. And stay tuned for the next episode where I'll connect you once again with the incredible people that make Santa Barbara a wonderful community.